here is a view of our allotment. Today is the 26th of September and many things have happened here. One of the best things is our first burgundy okra. It's a pity, like I don't want to pick it, it's so beautiful. It's the first one that we've had this season, and here, if I have to have an observation about how things went, I put in the aubergines and the okra plants together with the idea, because I've read or heard somewhere, that the aubergines give I think either calcium or, well, they have like some kind of beneficial exchange with okra. So aubergines and okra planted together are mutually beneficial. The thing is, our aubergines were far bigger than the okra, and actually you can see that, for example, this aubergine plant is past its prime at the moment, but okra has only reached like really small size. This one is the biggest one, and they haven't given a lot of fruit or flowers because they were shaded, and there are other ones that are still growing around here. They never got the chance to have light, so that's really a pity, and hopefully we could amend this problem in another future plantings. And here's some beautiful okra bloom. This one is right in the end and it's doing better. So the highest ones are the ones that got more sun. Well, it's still not too late, but we're quite into the end of the season already. As you can see, these aubergines, for example, are completely dead or dying, but the other ones are still quite okay. So let's see. Our tomatoes are finished. It wasn't a great tomato year. It has rained. We planted them too close together with these enormous basil plants. I never expected them to get that big. I've pruned them I don't know how many times, and they are huge. They're like half the size of the tomato plant, so I'm not surprised that they've crowded everything. So yeah, tomatoes are pretty much, I don't know if we will be able to prolong their season. All the fruits are coming out like this, so with blemishes or completely rotten already. So this is not the best of a presentation for a garden, but yeah, we haven't been able to prune them a lot too, so this has been a problem too. Then here we've got peppers. So here we had peppers, lettuce, parsley, more peppers. These are all padron peppers here on the side, and more basil. The basil has gone huge. We have as well leeks, and we had beets. You can see some enormous beet leaves over there. Most of the beets I picked them when they were really small, because we had a mole or a vole going under them, so we tried to pick them in order to at least get some harvest. But actually that one survived. It's huge. So piri piri peppers, these ones have done really well. Parsley has been humongous. So this, for example, this plant, you can see some other bigger plants. This one here was really big. So parsley was probably the second or the first most successful, together with basil. Cedron peppers did well, and the leeks are doing fine. I think we could actually pick some of them, and yeah, these tomatoes too are completely out of question, so we'll have to pick those. I have those Galician cabbages here that are doing very well. They were really tiny plants at the beginning of the season, but they've grown great. And another one that's done not so badly is this one, our red vein sorrel, and yeah, this corner has been more or less successful. And then there was a wind disaster with our amaranth plants. I had to pick the flower heads some days ago because they fell over, like all over this part, so it wasn't the best option to block all the sidewalk, let's say, on the way to the other people's allotments, so I had to cut them and I had to push it back. Obviously it squished all the other things I had on the other side, so it is a total mess at the moment. I took some of the heads home, hoping that I can save some of the seed. Actually, they were too wet, most of them kind of green, so after these hot days I expect to be able to get some more, maybe drier seed. We will see, but yeah, they were splendid, beautiful. Then here we've got a really nice corner with the Nasturtiums. I picked some seeds. We haven't picked a lot of leaves because it was kind of shaded, so it wasn't very bulky. But yeah, and if I can squeeze here, we have calendula and some beautiful peppers. I think they're called bishop's bonnet or something like this. They turn bright red. From what I know, they're typical to some African countries, or at least this is what they say here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The plant that I have at home that is like 3 years old is an overwintered plant of this type. So these ones can live several years. And yay, squishing ourselves here in the forest. Here's the tremendous parsley bush, and here's a beet. That beet's nice. And yeah, a jungle type. This is very much our style. And so we had here patty pan squashes. So far we've had 2, so they weren't at all hugely successful. They had a lot of flowers, but they never got a lot of female flowers. So far we've only picked 2 squashes, and now after squishing them under the amaranth plant, they don't have any chance actually, so that is very unfortunate. We've picked 2 squashes, so probably this is what we're gonna have for the whole season. Just 2 squashes. It occupied a lot of space, but well, what can we do? And here's our kale. I started these from seed, and you can see that the squashes have helped for something, because they're really lush compared to these little guys that live here. So yeah, light and the floor being covered was a good thing for the kale plants. They're really nice and healthy. So we can say that kale has worked here. All the herbs were great. We've never eaten that many, like that much basil and parsley and everything that we've produced. So parsley was really great. You can see the bushes are enormous. Then amaranth has done great, as you can see. Tomatoes weren't overly successful, but from our tomatoes, the 2 that did the best were the Tigerella and Green Zebra. That are the ones that actually have the last 2 tomatoes. Those there are Tigerella tomatoes. These ones were the first to start giving, and apparently might be the last to start giving. Green Zebra were quite prolific, so I can't complain about them. And that basil plants were amazing. Padron peppers did okay. Beets might have been a bit more successful. But yeah, I think we overcrowded this bed because I had parsley and peppers and tomatoes on the other side, and the leeks. So if they were in a bigger bed, probably would have been better. Like, would have worked better if the tomatoes were on their own, maybe. So this is a note for my future self. Please don't put humongous parsley and basil bushes together with the tomatoes. Like, space them out, give them space to breathe. And yeah, this is our plot overall. We've been really happy how it went. We've had plenty of food to eat, salads and leaves and basil and parsley. Not that many okras. I would have been happier if there were more. Tomatoes were okay, but they could have been better. We had a lot of aubergines, which was great. We had a lot of amaranth leaves. That was wonderful. And we could have had at least more squashes, but it didn't happen. So yeah, and we're looking forward to the kale. Thank you for joining me.